Here are my Game Week 10 score predictions for the 2023/24 Premier League season. We start the week off with a Friday night kickoff at Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace taking on Tottenham. Crystal Palace 4-0 defeat against Newcastle United in their last game, and Tottenham still top of the table without a defeat so far, a 2-0 win against Fulham in their last game. Yeah, for me, Tottenham, they're just going to continue this run. Crystal Palace, they're going to make it hard for them, but I think it's going to be a repeat of Monday night scoreline. I'm going to go for another 2-0 win for Tottenham. Now on to the Saturday night kickoffs, where Chelsea are taking on Brentford at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea, in their last game, leading 2-0 against Arsenal. Arsenal, with a late comeback, ended up drawing the game 2-2. Brentford picking up a nice victory against Burnley, 3-0 win against them. Could be a boost for their confidence. They weren't doing the greatest prior to that game, but this looks like a new Chelsea side now under Pochettino compared to what we saw last season. And, I'm going to back a Chelsea win for this game. I think it'll be close. I'll go for a 2-1 home win, but I think they'll get through in the end. And then onto the Vitality Stadium, where Bournemouth are taking on Burnley. Two sides that are not in the greatest of form at all. We've got 19th coming up against 18th. Only Sheffield United have done worse than them, and we're coming on to them in just a moment's time. This one, it's I don't like to do this. It's very boring, but for me, it's going to end in a goalless draw. 2-1 defeat for Bournemouth in their last game against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Burnley losing 3-0 to Brentford, as I said above. Couldn't manage to find a goal there. Now that I've said this, it's probably going to be goals galore now, and it's going to end in like a 4-4 draw or something like that. But could say it's a potential 6-pointer here with the two teams on the points that they are currently on. Both will be really looking to get one over each other in this one, but as I said, I think it will end all square. On to the Emirates now, where Arsenal are taking on Sheffield United. Arsenal drawing 2-2 against Chelsea in their last game, but Sheffield United, I want to talk about them. 1 point in their opening 9 games. A 2-1 defeat against Manchester United in their last game. Pretty close game, and they did give Manchester United a really good game actually. But away in this one at the Emirates, Arsenal will be looking to pick up all 3 points after their draw last time out, and I think the scoreline could get a bit mental here. I'm going to go for a 4-0 Arsenal home win, which definitely doesn't reflect Sheffield United's last game at all, but it's just Arsenal need the points, especially after picking up a draw, and I feel like they could just, if they really want it, they can go for it, and I think they're gonna demolish Sheffield United in this one. So yeah, 4-0 home win for the Gunners. We move on to the Molineux, where Wolverhampton Wanderers are taking on Newcastle United. Wolverhampton Wanderers, you could say they're doing pretty well at the moment. Picked up a 2-1 victory against Bournemouth in their last game. Prior to that, a 1-1 draw with Aston Villa. They also beat Manchester City 2-1. And, there's Newcastle United, which they've just got such a strong team, Newcastle, and putting 4 past Crystal Palace in their last game. Although Newcastle's last victory at the Molineux came when both of these teams were in the Championship. The last Premier League victory for Newcastle at the Molineux was back in 2011. But yeah, I think Newcastle's going to come away with all 3 points, as I said. Such a strong team this season. I'll go for a 3-1 away win for the Magpies. We move on to the Sunday games now, where West Ham are taking on Everton at the London Stadium. That's another thing I want to mention. Only 4 Saturday games. What's going on there? West Ham defeating their last game 4-1 against Aston Villa. I think they've got a chance to put things right against an Everton side who obviously lost in the Merseyside derby 2-0 in their last game. Did beat Bournemouth 3-0 prior to that, but we've got an Everton side that are struggling, and in this game, I don't think that they'll start to change that anytime soon. So I'll go for a close game, but I think West Ham will come through 2-1 winners. And then on to Villa Park, where Aston Villa are taking on Luton Town. And for me, just like the Arsenal game, this could get a bit crazy. Aston Villa beating West Ham 4-1. They put 6 past Brighton not too long ago at Villa Park. So yeah, they could probably go a bit crazy in this game. Luton Town picking up a 2-2 draw against Nottingham Forest in their last game. I'm going to repeat the scoreline for one that I said for the Arsenal one. I'm going to go for a 4-0 home win for Aston Villa. And yeah, I recommend putting Ollie Watkins into your fantasy league, and strongly recommend making him captain as well. That's certainly what I'm going to be doing. So we'll move on to the Amex Stadium now, where Brighton are taking on Fulham. Brighton picking up a narrow defeat in their last game, a 2-1 defeat against Manchester City. Fulham picking up a 2-0 defeat against Tottenham. This is a good opportunity for Brighton to certainly bounce back after they haven't won in their last 3 games. Get 3 points on the board. I think Fulham's going to make it hard for them though in this game. And yeah, I'm going to go for a draw, 1-1. I think we could see a pretty even game in this one. And then we move on to our final 2 games. Anfield, Liverpool against Nottingham Forest. This one, well, for me, there's only one winner, but I think it'll be a close game. I'll just go for the narrow 1-0 home win for Liverpool. Nottingham Forest, there'll be a lot of sitting back. They'll have to keep a tight defence. We've seen it a couple of times that Nottingham Forest have made it pretty difficult when they're playing the big teams. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think Liverpool will just nick it. And then we finish off with a Manchester derby, Manchester United against Manchester City. The favourites for this one are the Citizens. Could be pretty obvious, that one, but they have been struggling in their last few games. Manchester City, narrow 2-1 victory against Brighton in their last game, picking up a defeat against Arsenal and also Wolverhampton in their last few games. Man United just scraping by on the games that probably they should really be demolishing teams, like the Sheffield United game, Brentford, Burnley and also Nottingham Forest as well in there. But I am going to go for a United victory in this one. They are at home. Going to go for a close game. Normally is. Unless it's being played at the Etihad, really. That's the only not problem. But for Manchester City, when this is played at the Etihad, reverse fixture, Manchester City win this easily. But it's always, a tough place for Manchester City to go here. And United, they've won their fair few against City at Old Trafford. When City have won here, it's been a pretty narrow game. So I'm going to go and back Man United for this one to wrap up my Game Week 10 predictions. If you did enjoy, please do leave a like, subscribe if you are not already. I'll see you all in my next video.